Tweedledee, liddy, liddy.
Past 9, so I'm gonna see if I can't get that DLC yet or not.
Oh, yeah. Good luck. M. Jackson gets the first award for tonight. The first award is, of course, nothing other than bragging rights. Good evening, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Oy. You're a pretty cool guy, Paul. Aw, gee whiz, fellas. You didn't have to say it. You're a real cool guy, Paul Zigo. That's how my mom and dad would be so proud. You finally made it. You finally made it, M. Jackson. You're one of us. Gooble gobble and all that. Zdravitsye. Zdravitsye. Will the laser vest protect you? It protects us all. I don't know what we'll talk about tonight. That's true. Derek Jensen is the soul of a poet. I agree. Been finishing up The Sopranos. It's put me in a very philosophical mood. It's a show that has as many layers as you kind of want it to, and it inspires a lot of thought in me. And we had a particularly philosophical bent to the conversation this morning. I guess I've kind of been existing in that spot all day today. We're going to talk about how wonderful the world is and we have nothing to worry about. I mean, I know you're joking, but that's a good jumping off point for philosophy discussion. Is technically, you don't really have anything to worry about. Something that came up recently in... I mean, just rewatch you and Vosh's talk. You really enjoyed it. You guys ever going to talk again? I guess not, no. I told him the last time I communicated with Vosh privately about, getting on his show or coming back on his show, I said I was open to talking to him whenever, and he didn't seem all that interested. So probably not. But it came up recently in an episode of The Sopranos. Carmela goes to Italy. And it's there in Italy that she comes to the realization that all these millions of lives have been lived in Paris. Or no, she goes to France, sorry. All these millions of lives have been lived in Paris. And how insignificant her little life is in comparison to all of that life. And how comparatively pointless her life is and her worries are in comparison to all of that human life. And it really is true. So, as much as I doomsay here, I would say that philosophically speaking, coming from a personal standpoint, we really don't have much to worry about. Because what's going to happen is what's going to happen. And, what they tell you about superheroes in movies isn't true. I have not heard of Less Wrong. Language older than words showed up today. Hoping to get time to start reading it tomorrow. Cool. Well, enjoy as much as you can enjoy a book like that. It's got its rough spots. Not bad, but just hard to read. Um, oh my god, the notification took till now. Yeah. I mean, you've got a right to worry about whatever you want to worry about, Phoebes. I'm just saying that you don't have to. And that honestly, at the end of the day, wringing your hands about it isn't going to change the outcome of it. So, in a way, like I was saying, the dude that was joking around about how we're going to talk about how there's really nothing for us to worry about and everything's peachy keen. I don't know that I agree in sentiment, but I can agree philosophically. I mean, worry doesn't accomplish much. Now, worry translated into some kind of action can accomplish things. But a lot of the problems that we face, we're so far down the road that, I mean, we're in free fall, guys. No parachute. What's to worry about at this point? It all happens as it should, huh? Invoking the S word. You know I don't like that word. Aristotle. Oh, yeah. My washer just died. I spent the last 2 hours trying to fix it. I'm so stressed. Abby, I understand. But you know what? At the end of the fucking day, it's a washing machine. People lived for thousands of years without them. You can too. You might even like it. Go get a washboard, do your laundry in the tub for a little while, and save up to get that fucking thing fixed. That's just the way it works. It's not a crisis, it's a challenge. Paul is in the acceptance phase? No. Somebody just brought up an interesting topic, you know what I mean? And it's not one that you hear from me all that often. And it's certainly not one that I'm trying to impress upon you as a way to dial down your, instinct to speak out or be angry or to be emotionally connected with the things that are going on in the world. But when it comes down to it, we're all food for worms, lad. When I think of worry, I equate it to the sort of impending ticking time bomb clicking in my head. Well, of course. I mean, like I worry. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't worry. I'm just telling you don't have to. It's a powerful thing because it allows you to meet out your worry in a way that's a little more handleable. For me, I'm a person that if I had my way, if I had my druthers, I would be consumed by worry for most of my time. I would literally sit and worry all day. And I still do sometimes, but I've never forgotten the lesson that I don't have to. You can do that. You're doing it right now. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can feel you there. Hey, Paul, one of my players left my D&D game for a while he goes overseas. Want a spot? No, thank you. I wish I had time to do that, but I don't. I appreciate the offer, though. You got to let those worries go. No, not fully. You don't. You don't have to do anything. Like I said, you don't have to worry. You don't have to not worry. But it can be a powerful thing to realize that you don't have to worry. Not every second of every day can be devoted to worry. And if it is, you're living a very small life. I live a relatively small life because of worry. It's not something I would recommend. Triple P, Paul Pessimist Parky. Ooh, that'd be dope. Beautiful sounds of the frogs really help de-stress. Well, yeah, being outside helps me a lot. There's a calmness to it. There is a calmness to it. Well, I was just smoking a J, so that shouldn't have really triggered your cigarette lust. Now this will trigger your cigarette lust because I will have a cigarette now. But I was just smoking a J. Those negative ions. Yeah, bro. Those negative ions. Do you ever invest in crypto like the crypto market is booming, or do you not like the risk? I've tripled my money in a few weeks. I don't like the risk, but thank you for the info. I feel like humanity's history of existence in the woods is partly related to the reason we love listening to frogs and crickets and sitting by fires. I mean, sure, and it's also part of the reason we worry so much. Like, you have to understand, a lot of human instinct is denied in the modern world. And for better or for ill, that affects every last one of us human beings on this planet. For example, we're wired to be hunter-gatherers. We're still wired that way. We're wired to be wary of our surroundings and watchful of our neighbors and constantly on the lookout. What do you think that there's no correlation between that constant state of worry that we're talking about and that state of humanity that we evolved to live in? All right, we evolved out here, so it can be a simultaneously very calming environment for us because the sound of the forest is one that's older than our most ancient cousins, right? If you go down our family tree. But a lot of our worries and fears may come from living a life where those things are no longer worries. Like, you don't have to worry about a tiger pouncing you every day. So now you worry about your washing machine being broken, or you worry about the state of the world. You worry about the ecological disaster that looms, or the economic disaster that looms, or the authoritarian march towards, resource wars that will ensue, These concepts would have been so foreign to a human being 10,000 years ago. And yet, so many people are just crippled by their worry about those things. I run into those people a lot as a guy that likes to talk philosophy with a definite pessimistic bent. I've found that there's a lot of people, and this is an interesting little side note. There's a lot of people that really don't like what I have to say because it doesn't make them feel good, but there's something about, there's some ego-driven reason why they have to undercut it. So rather than saying like, wow, I'm a very emotional person and the way that you talk really gets to me in a very emotionally dark way and I can't handle this right now, they'll say like, oh my fucking God, blah, 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 doomsday, doomer, Paul, everything's negative, everything's blah, blah, blah. I think really, like, honestly, in the heart of hearts of most of the people that have run across me talking like this or talking philosophy and have found themselves turned off by it, it's because they hear the truth coming out of my mouth. And they feel like they don't need to hear it again. But they spend most of their life ignoring it. I'm not saying I'm some fucking great sage on the mountain or some shit. I'm just saying, I get the feeling as a guy that likes philosophy with a pessimistic bent and has a tendency towards that myself, that a lot of people make excuses for why they can't sit through a Paul's Ego video. A lot of people have legitimate excuses. There are people that have panic disorders and nervous disorders where when I get on a certain kind of fucking roll, it's just too much for them. But I get the feeling a good percentage of the people that have discarded my philosophy, political or otherwise, have done so not out of some sort of ultimate disdain for the conclusions that I arrive at, but rather for disdain for me personally and the way I frame things. A lot of people are afraid of the ideas that get thrown around here in general. I don't know if it's you so much as it's the general bent of this channel and chat. Well, I mean, those that are like me are drawn here, whether they know it or not, whether they think it or not, and those that don't are pushed away from here. And it's one of the things that makes it makes it very hard for me to make friends with people who I disagree with. One of the reasons why TJ and I became such fast friends and why I still value his friendship so much to this day is because he's a rare person. Because he and I sat down when we first met each other and put each other through the fucking ringer and found where we disagreed and found where we agreed. And there was never a hint that TJ was going to judge me for the things about my philosophy that he might have found stupid or fruitless or too different from his philosophy to be compatible. He listened with genuine intent and genuine interest to those things. And I listened back to his. And that is such a fucking rarity in the world. Most people just kind of want to listen to about 5 or 10 minutes of you and put you in whatever little box in their mind contains the ideas that they don't like that you're espousing, and then throw you in the back of the trunk, and forget about you. Except for that whole voting thing. What are you talking about? See, here's the great thing about TJ and I. We got nasty with each other that day, but if you think that as business partners and friends, that's the first time that me and TJ have got fucking nasty with each other, like, I don't know what to tell you. Do you watch us? See, that's the thing, is like, you get nasty with one another, but it never pushes beyond that point. He clearly doesn't respect your opinion on that. Is that a quote? Or is that you? Respect and agree with aren't the same thing. A lot of people don't know that. I wonder how many viewers are long-term viewers and what age they started watching. There seems to be about 40 to 60 regulars here, but Paul gets around 100 to 170 while streaming. I think there's, like, we talked about this the other night. I think that a significant portion of the people in here are lurkers. I don't like calling them out because a lot of the times lurkers are listening while doing other things, gaming, working on homework, working on work stuff, listening in a place where they can't, necessarily be interactive, but that's cool. A lurker view is every bit as important to this show and its viability as, somebody that spends a lot of time in their chat. It's ideas are being communicated, and it's fine with me. Like anybody that does streaming for a living knows that lurkers are a huge proportion of the people that watch you. For me, it's working. I listen while I make money and comment when I can. There you go. My friends are pretty much opposite from me politically. Yeah. I mean, politics are not a prerequisite for respect. And that's something that a lot of people disagree with. But I'm able to set aside people's political opinions to a point, and respect them as people. Walk a mile in a person's shoes before you judge them and all that shit. It's actually my first Highdeology in months. Well, welcome back. The collective has missed you. Wah, 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 wah. Where's that point for you? For me, it's gay marriage. Yeah, it's rednecky shit for me. Like racist shit. Racist, sexist, shit is where I pretty much draw the line nowadays. I put up with a certain amount of that shit from my closest family in some cases, and nobody else. Like, if you're putting out that kind of vibe at all, you're nowhere near me. Like, you get nowhere near me. So yeah, I would say that that's where my line is at, politically speaking. But a lot of those are social ideas and not necessarily wrapped up in politics. What kind of conversations do you have with people more pessimistic than you? I mean, if you hang around here enough, you'll know the answer to that. But the short answer to that is not many. Not many. The true and genuine pessimist is a pretty rare breed, a very necessary breed, but a very rare breed. I honestly don't believe you can reform racists into no racists, and we waste time trying. Your thoughts? Maybe your tactics and goals need examining. You are correct. There are some people out there that are just going to be racist for no reason, and they're going to do it. Well, there's nobody that's racist for no reason, but they're going to be racist for their reasons, and they're going to continue to be racist. No matter what is told to them, no matter what arguments are pitched at them, they're going to continue believing whatever it is that they're going to believe. And you're right. It can be a waste of time to engage that person in conversation. However, I point out the singular example of Daryl Davis, who personally deconverted over 100 Klansmen. These are not like... So you see what I'm saying? Conversation is a very powerful thing, but it requires you swallowing a lot of shit. Because in order to truly listen to somebody, you have to open your mind and your ear to their perspective. It doesn't mean you have to fucking agree with them, but you have to show respect to it. You have to respect the fact that they are people who were raised to believe something that is, in your mind, very, very faulty. And if you want to get at them at the place where that lives, you're going to have to listen to them to do it. You're not going to badger them into not being racist. So you're right. There's no short route. But if you're willing, you can change people's minds on things. It can be done. Sometimes it just requires listening and repetition. Sometimes it requires the perfect scenario where you have the perfect counter to an argument. I only have a problem with unreasonable prejudices when it's implemented in our institutions. A random saying a slur, don't care, but being restricted from a better life, I'ma help out. You have to realize there's a connection there, though. Racist policy is built on the back of racist intent. And racist intent exists in the hearts of people and the minds of people. So all the little slurs and all the little jokes, and I know exactly what this type of shit is, bro. I grew up around the hypocrisy of racism. It was one of the things that kicked me so fucking hard out of racism. Because I saw the evident hypocrisy. I was told one thing by the people that I trusted. And then as soon as I was exposed to the people who I was told not to trust, in my case, Hispanics, I lived in a town that was divided very sharply on racial lines between white people and Hispanics. And I grew up being told that Hispanics were lazy, shifty, criminal, and I went to school with kids as I grew up, especially when I moved to a more rural school, that were all Hispanic. And they were all cool, and their families were all cool. And the hypocrisy of the racism of how my parents would interact with their parents, where at home it's all Mexicans are dirty, all wetbacks are shitty, all this, that, and the other thing. And then if their parents were to come, oh hi, how are you? That's part of the problem, guys. The smiling face of covert subversive under your breath racism is it's part of what feeds this engine that leads to that kind of upper level stuff. Racist policy, racist local policy, racist state policy, racist national policy, unequal application of law when it comes to different races. You have to understand that it's all fucking connected. All these isms ultimately stem from the fear and aversion to difference. Sure. What do you think is worse, pretending not to be a racist or open racism? I don't know, dude. Like, why do you feel the need to categorize it? Well, I watched that happen in my life. I watched it happen over and over and over and again in my life. The hypocrisy at the heart of racism. I watched it, and I watched it, and I watched it, and I watched it. And I couldn't reconcile it. I couldn't reconcile what I was told about Hispanic immigrants and then what I saw when I hung around with them and when I spent time with them and their children. Sons and daughters of first-generation immigrants. And I would go and see their hardworking parents just barely getting by. And I'd see them with a lot of the same problems that my parents had. Divorce. Maybe their parents would drink once in a while. My parents did all that shit. It was just hypocrisy. And I couldn't fucking square it. I could not square it. It's the same thing with religion. You know? I've talked a little bit about what booted me out of religion. It wasn't just Noah's Ark, the story and the absurdity of it. It was the hypocrisy of religion. The crazy idea that if you don't believe a certain way on an immensely diverse planet where people have a numerous amount of religious and irreligious belief, and if you're not in this one little way that worships God, you're just going to burn in hell forever. Just the inherent hypocrisy of that alone, the unwillingness to acknowledge that a lot of modern popular religions are based on ancient religions that they consider to be pagan, that came in some cases thousands of years before they did. Just the absolute unwillingness and the absolute willful hypocrisy that Christians and most religious people, in fact, all religious people that I've met, all super organized religious people anyway, that I've met, walk forward with and walk in is fucking unreal. And I couldn't do it. And I still won't. That is still the major fucking gripe that I have with religion. It's not the personal ritual side of things. I don't care if people murmur to something that they believe is there, even if they don't in their heart of hearts believe it's there to get some comfort from it. That's not the problem. It's the hypocrisy that people walk in with it. Can't be done. What public social places can replace the one a week communal gathering of a church? Regular union meetings and functions. Everybody's got to work, and everybody that does work should bargain for their fucking fair treatment in that work environment. Maybe we don't need a place to meet every week and be social, just get together more spontaneously. Dude, people talk shit about each other at church. Church is a big old, like, pecking order kind of social circle type of place. There's a lot of fake smiles at a church, believe you me. It's not all it's cracked up to be as a fucking social gathering. I used to go to church every once in a while. I've been down that road, okay? I know what goes on in a church. A lot of little grousing and a lot of little fucking, back talk and a lot of little gossiping. I love that fucking scene in Doubt. Whoa. What happened to the chat? Did I get banned? Whoa. Weird. The chat has disappeared. Whoa. That's a rarity. A stream crash that I was able to recover. That usually doesn't happen. It usually doesn't go down that way. Paul, stop buffering. Everything's fine now. The Google mods tried to take me down. Yeah, it's possible. It's totally fucking possible. I think the world would be better if Abrahamic religions evaporated overnight. You don't think that something just as fucking destructive and just as hypocritical would replace it? You really think it's like Abrahamic religions that are the source of that and not some deep-seated need in people. Bort? Whatever you say, bro. I hope I get my stimmy in the jimmy. Thoughts on the fine-tuning argument for God? Just the size of the fucking universe absolutely and completely fucking defeats it. Like, yes, there is or seems to be for our type of like some sort of Goldilocks zone where if a planet is in it and certain elements are present, it makes life possible. There are so many fucking solar systems and so many planets in the known universe and the observable universe, let alone the wider universe beyond our observational limits, that there are going to be fucking billions of those planets. So it just makes no sense. The fine-tuning argument is silly. What's the example? A sentient puddle thinking about how the hole it's in is perfectly shaped. Yeah. Gold on my teeth and my neck. Yes, yes. I want to go flex. Yes, Lance. Currently watching old episodes of DFF that I miss. So much of Paul singing, it would fill a whole album. What? Huh? How's the starry side outside for you right now? My job requires me to live in a city, so all I see is a purple hue with only planes visible. Pretty good. I see Orion pretty much every night, unless it's a real cloudy day. I can always pick out Orion real strong. You fool, your benevolent AI will grow exponentially and consume this world, and then move on to another galaxy and become its Abrahamic absentee father. Dun, 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 dun. What will the next Beauregard track drop? I cannot tell you that. I do not know. It is being produced right now by the eminent Marshall Manson. I've heard a rough cut of it, and it's dope. I think it's going to be real dope when Marshall puts a little spit and polish on it. Ding! New Beauregard. It's a booty bouncer. I can see asses bouncing to it. Oh yeah, dude, it's a booty bouncer. How can you stand knowing you will never be as talented as Beauregard? You know, I mean, look, dude, you can sniff the throne sometimes. Big Daddy Beau. What's your favorite chocolate bar? I'm not a big chocolate guy, I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm not saying I've never eaten any chocolate, but I'm not a big chocolate guy, so I'm not gonna delve into the world of the chocolate bar because I really don't know much about it. I'm not the type of guy to go grab a chocolate bar. I'm gonna time you out, by the way, Liam, because that was a dumbass what's your favorite question, and usually I just ban people that ask stupid shit like that, but I'm gonna give you a fucking pass tonight. Am I not merciful? Am I not a merciful God? Am I not benevolent and even-handed in the distribution of justice? It was such a minor question. I mean, yeah, but dude, you got to understand, bro. You just said that like this is your first Highdeology in months, right? Well, in those months, I've done probably like 300 of these motherfuckers, and you gotta understand. I've been asked what's your favorite fucking everything at least 90 times. Like if you name it, I've been asked what's your favorite. So yeah, I typically just ban people. It's a pretty well-known standing order around here that asking me, "Hey Paul, what's your favorite X?" is probably going to get you banned because I just have to. That's my fault? How's that my fault? Wasn't a regular viewer before TVH. Oh, that's fine. A rebel, huh? I just kind of breeze in and breeze out whenever I want to. You know what I mean? It really, like, dude, people act like the rules here are so hard to fucking follow. They're really not. Like, the rules are really like don't spam, don't ask stupid fucking questions, and don't like be overall annoying constantly. Like, that's really it. Don't disagree with Paul. That sounds like a disagreement. You're banned. What? I'm just going by the rules. No dissent. Yep. Hey, I didn't make that rule. They did. Uh, thanks for the noob. I like it, Ricardo. Why do you think Hollywood doesn't make any good classic movies anymore? It's politics or lack of creative people. Uh, both. I think it's mostly like the incestuous nature of the big fucking movie industry producers now, like the big Universals and Disneys and shit, and how they've kind of like locked down all of the big creative jobs and very little money gets spent on risky things, and it's all fucking lame ass superhero bullshit. Would you ever consider a weekend DFF camping trip meetup with fans? I would travel across the fucking country just to make that. Yeah, we've talked about it actually. I don't know how feasible it is or whatever, but it might be kind of fun. Roasting weenies and marshmallows and whatnots. Imagine TJ camping. Yeah, TJ would have to have a fucking full blown RV. He'd have to have like a full hookups RV or whatever the fuck, dude. There's no way TJ would be getting into a tent. Roasting bananas with TJ, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can rent out like a camping ground or like a bigger part of a camping ground. Like, that's what the juggalos do when they do fucking Whoop Whoop Fest or whatever the fuck. The Gathering. They just rent out a big campground, pay a bunch of money, and then charge people tickets and have a bunch of concession stands that, you know what I mean? I'd go camping, but I don't want to get killed by Jason. You're not a teenager anymore. You're safe. Jason only kills teenagers when they're camping. You're safe. Or like groundskeepers. If as long as you're not the groundskeeper and you're not a teenager, you're cool. He's not gonna come for you. Rent out an island for a year. It'll turn into a Paul tribe and the TJ tribe. While the Scotty tribe makes a raft and escapes. Dude, if do you think if I had the money to rent an island out for a year that I would not be on an island right now? What are you talking about? Deep fart fried, dude. Dude, there's no fucking way that I'm living on an island with a bunch of my fans for a fucking month, dude. No way. The camping excursion thing, like 2 nights, you know? We go camp a couple nights. There's no fucking way, dude. A month? Dude, there would be no tribe. I would kill all of you. I would go nuts and I would kill everybody on the island. You don't want this. I mean, being in the woods for a month would suck, period. Yeah, I know. And then just imagine all the favorites questions and shit and the people that think IRL trolling is funny. Like, I give it 2 days before I murder somebody on the island. 2 days. And that's being real generous. Allegedly, right, in Minecraft. On the Minecraft island. That's what I mean. Well, we're all playing Minecraft together on the island. You think you could ever do camping safely? Sure. Tim Allen 2 did indeed happen, yes. What was your favorite island murder, Paul? Island murder? What? Yeah, dude. On the island, if you get banned, you get thrown into the sea by the specters. Yep, I blow a conch shell and they throw your ass screaming off of a fucking cliff onto the fucking, to dash you on the rocks and the surf below. So the crabs can eat you. It's the last thing you hear. That and your own screams. Ah! How about the band can fight in gladiator duels to the death? Nah, dude, I ain't wasting my time on that shit. That would just be too, like, fucking... That would be like either a bitch boy slap fight or 2 dudes pooping themselves and crying in the corner of the fucking gladiatorial arena. It's like, no. Up by the scruff of their neck and off the cliff to the crab fucking rocks below. Right in the tide pools. You'd spearfish you a neckbeard. Oh, shit. What do you think the UN wants to visit to make sure everything's okay on the island? Then we're fucked. Then we're in trouble at that point. I'm the animatronic guy on the bayou porch. You folks probably ought not head down that way. Nobody that heads down that way has anything good to tell about it. Pirate treasure. Ridiculous. Hey, where are you folks going? Huh? A little late at night to be serving the bayous. Say, you're not looking for pirate treasure, are you? Not tourists. Oh, let me tell you. That's cute. Like the specters are tough enough to throw anyone anywhere. Like anybody that they would be throwing are tough enough to resist 3 or 4 weaklings. Come on. Get a fucking grip. Like any fucking like criticism you throw at the specters, you throw right back at yourself. What, you telling me that like 3 98-pound weaklings can't throw 1 98-pound weakling over the fucking cliff? It can happen. Trust me. It's math, dude. 3 is more than 1. Quick maths. You're 5'11" and 270 pounds. Then we just wear you out first and roll you off the cliff like a barrel. We just force you with pointy sticks to jog until you're winded, and then we roll your big fat ass off the cliff. Trust me, when I blow the conch, your ass is going over one way or the other. What would the murder cliff be called? Crab Alley, dude. I'm definitely going to be a pirate lord. I'm definitely going to, by day 5, I will have affected a total pirate fucking accent. Anybody that questions it goes to Crab Alley. I'll be a pirate lord by day 5. I'm just letting you all know how this goes out. And we're talking about a month on this fucking island. Day 5, I will be a pirate lord throwing people off of Crab Alley, dude. Oh, sounds like this here laddie wants to take him a trip to Crab Alley. No, please, Saltbeard, no, not Crab Alley. Grab him, boys. Get my conch. It's Laser Vest Dynor. Pew, 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 pew.
I was struggle getting it on him, but.
Oh, was it? Why, he didn't want it on him? Did he fight you?
It felt. It was a weird angle. He didn't like me buckling under his belly, so I had to flip it around.
Oh.
Buckle it on his back.
Oh, D.
That DLC still isn't there. I was just doing Pavardi's stupid little quest.
Oh. She finally hit you up for it. We were just talking about how if me and the guys rented an island for a month and invited fans to come and chill with us, that by day 5 I would be a pirate lord and I would be throwing people off of a cliff called Crab Alley because the crabs eat them at the bottom of it.
I didn't realize you titled it Laser Vest.
I did. That was the last thing on my mind before I started it. Was Dynor's little laser vest.
Well, you're gonna have to show him.
You know that union talk could backfire on the island. Everyone would just unionize against me. Crab Alley with them. Oh, what's that? Seems to me that my first mate was telling me that you were talking some unionization. Oh, collective bargaining, yeah. I know a group of guys that believe in the same thing. They live at the bottom of Crab Alley. They're about to do some collective bargaining on your barnacle-ridden carps. Grab him, boys! Would there be orgies? Hand-selected orgies by me, of course. But you wouldn't, trust me, you wouldn't be invited.
Yeah. I think they want to see.
Well, we'll wait till Laser Bones gets back over here. Come here, Laser Bones.
Come on.
D, come here. I want to show everybody your pretty laser vest. Look at that. So he doesn't get lost. What do you think of that? Laser vest.
There you go.
Yep, there you go. I don't want to go now. I don't even care anymore. Crab Alley would never happen. One of the specters would turn traitor and the people would unionize. Not a fucking chance, bro. You don't understand how this fucking island works. Do you realize, okay, that if we made this island open to all of our fans, that fully 1/3 or more of those fans would do anything I fucking told them to do on day one? Day one. We're not even talking by day 5 when I unveil Saltbeard and take over the island and put it under my fucking tyrannical boot, okay? We're talking day 1. So I come with a ready-made army and it's just over. And I just, I'm the first one to strike. TJ's too, and like you said earlier, Scotty will escape the island. Scotty and the Scottists, they'll be smart enough to get the fuck out of Dodge because they know that there's like murder going on. Paul's throwing people off a Crab Alley. Let's get the fuck out of here. TJ and his followers will be too lazy to do anything. They'll be like, let's just lay around and get coconuts. Somebody crack these coconuts open, and then they would be fucking lean pickings for Saltbeard. I'm gonna make he who strikes first strikes the final blow, dude. Oh yeah, immediately subjugate the Tajikafans. Immediately throw TJ off of Crab Alley to make a point. Look at your god now. Shove him, boys. Who's next? Oh yeah, TJ'd have to go off because I couldn't trust him otherwise. For a whole 30 days, eventually he'll get around to doing some skullduggery and shit. And you can't let that happen. So TJ goes on day 5 when Saltbeard comes out. He's the first victim of Crab Alley. I hate to have to do it, but it's either that or, anarchy on the island, and we can't have that. I have to be the one that brings peace and stability to the island for a month. TJ would not be the first to try to assume power, dude. No fucking way. No fucking way. If anybody tried an uprising first, it would be Scotty. But I really do think that the original poster was right. Scotty would, like, leave the island when he saw it going that fucking direction. He'd be smart enough to get the fuck out of Dodge, and the Scottists would go with him. And then TJ would he'd lay around. He'd be sleeping in till fucking noon, and the specters would be out there in the jungle at night, like, whoo, whoo, with fucking spears and shit. All right, lads, quick and quiet this one. We wrap up the big piggy and kill anybody that's with him. TJ would scamper into the forest for a smoke and get attacked by a venomous snake. That would be the story. It is with a heavy heart that I let you know that TJ was bitten by a two-step viper this morning as he went for a piss in the jungle. Of course, we're all very sad and want a peaceful transfer of power to myself. Saltbeard'll take care of you. Yes, we disposed of his body in the way that we knew he'd want us to, by throwing him into Crab Alley. Anybody that wants to join him is welcome. Of course, it's a one-way ticket. And it's a heavy trip as well. What's in it for you? You don't end up at the bottom of Crab Alley with TJ. That's what's in it for you, dipshit. Now get in line, or get in line for Crab Alley. Nah, dude, those crabs would eat them up, dude. Crabs can strip the flesh from a corpse in less than 15 minutes. I pulled that out of my ass.
I didn't mean to bump into you.
Oh, D. My ex hungered for Tajikafant blood. Oh my god. Oh my god. What is your problem?
You avoiding the Sammy one?
Nope.
Not gonna do it.
Oh, what Sammy one? I didn't see it.
Oh, I had that pulled up too.
Where is it?
Right here.
Oh. Okay, nope. I don't care, Sammy. Thank you for the $5. I'm not reading your skunk fantasies anymore, bro. Not gonna happen. Leave those fucking skunks alone. Hey, Sammy, leave those skunks alone. You're the second one that's going off a Crab Alley, Sammy. Grab that skunk-smelling bastard and throw him down there. TJ's body for an emergency food stash? No.
I don't need that.
No, the crabs will do just fine with TJ. What did I do to attract a skunk pervert? Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. You think I don't wonder these things myself? I don't know. Sad thing is, I kind of like Sammy. I wish he'd leave those skunks alone, but I kind of like Sammy. TJ's meat is spoiled while he's alive. I don't know about that. There would be more TJ sycophants than Paul washers. Yeah, that's why we strike first and give them the choice. Cut the head off and the whole movement dies, you know. We grab TJ when he's sleeping in, having like a fucking 2 p.m. siesta on the beach. Throw him in a Crab Alley. We tell everybody he got bit by a snake. And now there's only one ruler on the island, and anybody that's got a problem with that can raise their hand and we'll show you the exit. Crab Alley is the way off the island. Dude, 90% come with me first day. Those 10% feed a lot of crabs. Oh yeah, dude. My specters will have like rats and fucking little birds, you know, getting all the whispers from the streets. Anybody that's trying to fucking unionize like you, the East, unionize against the salt beard. I mean, any kind of talk like that, your ass is fucking crab food the next day. In front of everybody, too. Crab food.
So we put the vest on you. Now you don't want to wander.
No, you can see me. Defeats the whole purpose. Dude, there's no way that you're my shmee. There's no way. Dinor is definitely my shmee. And Amelia is Lady Amelia from now on. And you cast your eyes down when she walks by. You throw your coat in the puddles and you cast your eyes down. Do the same when you look at Dinor. The stare of Dinor is instant death. If you draw his eye, Crab Alley for you. Does your wife hang on the side watching your stream, or is she just chilling? Sometimes she's watches and hangs out in the chat, and sometimes she's off doing her own thing. There should be sea shanties about Saltbeard and Crab Alley. Oh, there will be. I'll make sure of that. I just want to do a murder for Captain Saltbeard. Okay, let's not take it too far. We're having fun here. Sometimes I rub my crotch and then sniff the garlicky aroma. Gross. Thanks, George. Thank both of you for the two stupidest super chats that I've gotten in a long time since Sammy the Skunk. It's a new low here on Highdeology tonight. Incorrigible indeed, man. This chat. Thanks, fat boy.
Smart enough to not add anything.
Yep. Smart enough to just be silent. These streams never fail to erode my confidence in humanity, as well they should. Why do you have confidence in humanity? What has humanity ever done to give you confidence in it? No, dude. Dinor is my first mate. I already told you. First mate Dinor. The ultimate judge of all things. Should he stare into your eyes with his sorrowful gaze, you will know the taste of Crab Alley. But if he looks away from you, you will be spared. Isn't that true, D? Yes. He's staring at me right now, but of course I'm Saltbeard, so he's supposed to stare at me. Oh, there'll be plenty of poop decks to swab and plenty of labor, and I mean, slaves is such a harsh word. Conscripts is what we like to call them. I would pet Dinor and tell him he's a good dog. That wouldn't be wise. That might cause him to look at you, and then what's happened?
You have a little fart.
Did you toot? You did, didn't you? Did you poot?
Cots.
Nobody would rise up, dude. You don't understand, man. The pirate code is more guidelines than actual rules, matey.
Dare we anger Lord of Duck with a super chat?
Goose equals greater than duck. Oh my god, bro. You've opened a can of worms now. All right, I gotta go. I'll see you guys later. Bye.